So space is when you incorporate some silence or minimalism in your music in order to provide resting points. So if you have ever sung in a choir, or if you ever held a conversation and you're using your voice, you know that at certain points you need to pause so you can take a breath. Taking pauses in conversation isn't just a matter of catching our breath. They're also really vital for us to have time for us to just kind of think and reflect on what we just experienced, right? Heard, or, whatever. Providing space in a music composition, is a really great thing to remember, because oftentimes with beginner songwriters that I work with, they feel a panic that they need to cram as much music as possible into their composition because they don't want to lose their listener, or they don't want their listener to get bored. And at this point, this is when I usually, try to remind people that conversation, whether it's in person with someone or whether it's musical, it does take a little bit of courage to stop talking for a minute so that the other person has time to reflect, or has time to participate and kind of add their own emotions or their own thoughts to what's been said already, right? Music is no different. Throughout your composition, try to leave some space. If you're singing, try to leave some space in your singing. In your instrumentation, it doesn't have to be instruments all the time. You can let the notes ring out and take a bit of a break. Again, an audience member who is aligned to what you're doing is going to enjoy those moments if you enjoy putting them in. Okay, we don't need to worry or panic about losing our audience's attention. Think about where you might provide some resting points in your own song, because that gives you a bit of freedom too, right? It's not just all about the listener. It also gives you freedom to reflect in the process of playing your own song. If you don't include a lot of space in a song, it tends to have a more frantic and frenetic pace. So I'm thinking about a song by the Bare Naked Ladies, where it's the end of the world as we know it. The verse is just like like it's so fast paced and frantic, and I think it kind of feels like the end of the world. It feels frantic, and so a general rule of thumb that I learned, that I heard back in the day, was just to think like, when could your singer or your instrumentalist use a bit of a break in the song? If you think that they could use it after 4 measures, then fit it in there. Your listener could also use that break. And if your singer or instrumentalist needed a break, then chances are your listener could also feel the need for a break themselves. So it's something to think about.